Hello and welcome back to the Grad Compound. We're in the garage today. It's very bright outside, and for this review I wanted you to be able to see the readout of the smoker. I'm going to review my brand new Masterbuilt 40-inch electric smoker. I know there's a lot of smoking purists out there that think you can only do smoking with charcoal or wood-based smokers, and they're right, mostly. But sometimes an electric just makes things a lot easier, and I got this one to do sausage, snack sticks, bolognas, that kind of thing. So we're going to go through this review. While you're thinking about it, hit that subscribe button right there, because I will have more reviews on the smoker after I've used it a few times. I've just done the seasoning now, so I'm going to walk through this thing with you, show you some of the features and benefits, and then we're going to get to cooking. All right, a couple of things that made me choose this smoker. One of them was the size of the machine. This thing's huge. I've heard stories already of people smoking 40 pounds of bologna in them at once. So that was one factor. They have a very good latching and sealing door. You can actually hear that. Listen. It seals nice and tight. There are 4 racks that it comes with, and you can get additional racks. You can put 6 racks in it. They're designed to slide out partially so you can get to your food if you need to, or you can remove them all the way and hang sausage or whatever. There is a meat temperature probe that comes with it to monitor the temperature of the food you're smoking or cooking or whatever. And I'm going to show you the accuracy of this. I've heard a lot of people say these are not accurate. We're going to test that out here in just a second. Alright. There is a 1200 watt heating element. Now 1200 watts is a lot for an electric smoker. Most of the smokers on the market only have about a 500 watt element. If you're shopping for an electric smoker, consider that. How much meat are you going to put in it? You need a little bit of horsepower to keep the temperature up when you fill one of these things full of meat. 1200 watts is going to help us do that pretty effectively. There's a drip pan in the bottom that's designed to catch all of your drippings and guides it to a little hole that lines up for this little grease pan here. Alright, so that's very helpful in cleaning. There's a water pan, sits right there, keep moisture in your food. Your ash drawer, which just has a little bit of ash in it now from the seasoning cook. And that sits right above your burner, so it smokes real well. Your little ash hopper right here. This is designed to put about a half a cup of wood chips in it, turn it, push it in all the way, and then turn it, which just dumps the chips into that chip hopper. It sits on top of the burners. And I'll tell you, from the seasoning smoke, it kicks out a ton of smoke with just a little bit of wood chips. So that's going to help your budget go a lot longer. You're not going to be feeding bags and bags of wood chips in a single smoke on this unit. I'm going to rig this up for hanging some sausage in it coming up. But let me show you the digital control next. Alright, the control system on this thing is actually very easy to use and very intuitive. The remote works great, as you can see. Push the button on, the machine turns on. The way you work this thing is you press the set temperature button either here or on the smoker to set your temperature. So let's say you're going to start your smoker at 175 degrees. Well, let's say 165 degrees. I'm just choosing a number to show you. Push set temperature again, that locks the temperature in the setting. Then you press set time, and you set the time that you want the smoker to run in hours or minutes, either way. You push the set time again, it goes to minutes. Push it again, it locks in that time. Now the smoker is on. The little heating element light is going to come on. It's going to say heating on your remote, and you'll watch the temperature. It's actually reading your food probe now. The smoker will come up to temperature, and I had a Maverick ET730 probe in here yesterday watching the temperature and found the oven probe to be very accurate. It's got about a 10-degree swing in it, plus or minus about a 20-degree total swing. Not bad at all for a smoker if you guys know anything about smokers. So that's how the remote and the keypad works. I'm going to turn this off now and just get me some ice water and show you that meat probe and how accurate that is. Alright, so a good way to test any temperature probe is to get you a cup of ice, just enough water to cover the ice, get it stirred up real good, and then put the end of your probe. The thermocouple is always at the end of your probe. It's not up here. So wherever you stick this into the meat is where you're reading the temperature. That's why you always want to have that in the middle of the meat that you're working on. So we put that in ice water and swish it around a little bit. And on this smoker, if you press the meat probe button, it'll give you temperature. It's going down now. It's saying 46, 45, 44. I'm going to go ahead and keep stirring that up a little bit. These are not quick activating thermocouples, so it takes a little while. They're going to change temperature slowly with your meat. For a test like this, you got to give it a little bit of time. So I'm going to turn that on. That's showing you the oven temperature of 58 degrees because it's not on. We're in the garage. Let's try the meat probe again. Look at there. 32 degrees. So anybody who tells you the meat probes aren't accurate on these machines, they may be right on theirs, but mine, the probe works fine. I mean, that tells you right there, 32 degree water. Ice water should be 32. There you go. So these probes you just want to wipe clean after each use and you'll be good to go. Now when you're not using your meat probe, there's a nice little handy clip right in there that you can keep your meat probe. It can also help you watch the oven temperature, but it's not very accurate in air. A probe for meat isn't going to be very accurate in air. The oven temperature, though, is very accurate in here. So it's just a nice little place to keep your probe out of the way. It doesn't disconnect, at least not easily, so it stays in the smoker at all times. Now we're going to get this thing rigged for venison snack sticks. A couple quick things to complete our overview. This is your vent damper for controlling airflow through the smoker. That's all the way open, all the way shut, anything in between. And there's a nice handle and a set of wheels on the back of it. Relatively short extension cord, about 6 feet long. And I'll show you how easy this thing is to move around, which is good because it's heavy. So if you're going to have a smoker this big and as heavy as this thing is, you get it about that far back, it sits on the wheels. Very easy to roll this thing around, so when you're done with it, getting it someplace to store it that's convenient will be easily accomplished, just like rolling around a hand truck. I have this thing now full, about 12 pounds of venison snack sticks. I put the meat probe that came with it right here because this is closest to the heat element, so that should be the hottest. It's up about that far, not very far at all, because I wanted to monitor that one. I've got another probe here in the front up high and one in the very back up high. So yeah, it looks a little bit like a science experiment, but we're going to see how good this thing does now. So how much smoke does one of these things put out? I don't know, to answer your question. That's just a tiny little amount of wood chips in that hopper, and the entire cabinet is full of smoke with just a teeny amount, not even a handful. Probably less than a quarter cup of apple wood chips. A little closer shot. I don't know if that camera's picking up the way that smoke's rolling through there. If you look right here, you might be able to see through a little better. Glass is a little clearer right there. There's not as much moisture from the heat. And that smoke is rolling. And it's set at 150 right now. Relatively low temperature, smoking like crazy. Something else you're really going to like about this smoker is it stays cool to the touch. Front, back, sides. Now, this part here is cool. Don't touch this part. The glass gets hot. But everything else is very well insulated on this cabinet, so it's not going to burn little kids. If they touch the glass up here, it's warm, but it's not bad. Touching it set at 150. Down there by the heating element, they may touch it once, but they won't touch it a second time. Okay, we're all finished. I'm sitting on about 165 at the lowest temperature point. Turn the smoker off. Shoo, how about that? We'll let this cool down a little bit. All right, we're on to second cook now. First cook, which was the deer snack sticks, turned out pretty good. I oversmoked them a little bit, overcooked them a little bit, getting used to this new smoker. So now I'm going to do ribs, doing St. Louis style, and I'll just show you. I put them on the second from the top rack right here, And I've gone ahead and lined those two bottom pieces with foil. You definitely want to do that because they're kind of a pain in the butt to clean. So that's something I learned. And you can see you got a little bit of seasoning extra in there from that last cook. And we're going to get this thing fired up at 225. Set the temperature. $225. Set the time. We'll set this thing for 4 hours. Actually, I'm going to set it for 5 hours. And we're off. Make sure that thing says it's heating. And we'll come back and check on that here in a bit. Alright, there's the St. Louis ribs off the Masterbuilt electric 3-2-1 method. Now, I like to slice them. I think ribs ought to have a little pull. A little burn there. And, ooh. Got a little bit of a smoke ring on there. Not half bad. So I would say for ribs it does a fine job. Just because there's some of the naysayers out there going to say, I'd like my ribs to fall off the bone. There, fall off the bone enough. Alright, to wrap up this review of this smoker, the temperature control on this thing is nothing short of amazing. It does a very good job of maintaining the temperature you set on the keypad. I've still got a little learning to do for my sausage and snack stick stuff. Watch for that on a future video. Ribs turned out absolutely great. Very easy to really smoke anything in this machine because of the temperature control is just so much more advanced and easier than any of the solid fuel burning stuff. Flavor is comparable. I still think the solid fuel, I can tell the difference between them, but this does a great job. You can be proud to serve anything smoked on this to anybody. Unless somebody does it on a regular basis, they're never going to know the difference and probably wouldn't pick up a difference anyway. Does a great job. As far as keeping this glass clean, I've heard and read a lot of comments about this glass being hard to clean, and I'm going to tell you, it's not. All you have to do is wipe this off while it's hot. Just take a damp rag, maybe with a little vinegar and water solution on it, and just wipe it off. This last time I wiped this off with just a damp rag. And while it might not be perfectly clean, I didn't even try to scrub it. I just wiped it down and it's fine. You can see right through there, no problem. So all in all, very happy with the purchase. Would definitely buy this machine again. Can't wait till the next time I use it. So check out some of my other videos. Hit that subscribe button right up there. Like this one. Share it with your friends if you like it. And like I said, check out some of the other videos, and we'll see you next time.